Is this thing on?
All right, let's get this show on the road.
Episode 90 of the Coffee and Carving Show.
Hey, everybody, welcome back.
Wow. Well, you can tell I've been practicing a lot on the guitar.
There you go.
Getting ready for
Dreamy.
that show. Oh, boy. This is my new look. Yo.
There you go. You got any snow?
Oh, dude. Yeah. It's been cold. Has it been for you?
It's freezing cold, but
Yeah.
the snow was just a dusting. Not much on the ground.
That's good. Yeah. Well, a little bit of a reverse then of last snow for us. We've got probably more than you have. We've got a fair
Yeah.
amount of snow on the ground right now.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, I
Not a ton, but it's really it's substantial. I mean, you can't see the grass.
well, okay, then you got
So-
me beat. There's nothing here.
Right.
So,
Yes.
I
Well,
think
first
it's
of all, I'd like
Okay,
to
go
point out that our microphones are back, and so hopefully there's a notable improvement in the quality of sound. That would be ideal.
that would be ideal. I wish you hadn't said that though, because we'll be scrutinized on our.
Oh yeah, yeah. Somebody out there will be like, "Well, it was worse than last time."
You need new microphones, then, you
Right.
idiots.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. Anyway, I
Anyway.
interrupted you.
I am sick again.
Yeah,
What's it been, like 3 weeks since the last time?
I know. You're like me last year.
Yeah, I must have just been hanging on and decided to come back again.
I don't
But,
understand
wow.
that.
No, me neither. But I don't like it.
Either.
It's hard to focus with a headache and a congested head and keep working. But
Right.
oh,
Get
well.
that. Yeah.
Oh,
Do you at least have some coffee?
I have tea. Does that count?
Yeah, that counts. I would say.
Carving and tea show. Hey, we're universal, so we gotta have the Brits with their tea too, you know. So,
I don't know. I venture to believe that the Brits are more into coffee than they let on. I bet they're just as into coffee as we are.
I don't know. Maybe some.
I'd love to
But-
hear what the Brits think in the comments below. Because we have a few.
Sure, we do. Yeah.
So,
Anyway, what have you been up to on this wintry days?
well, it's been an adjustment for sure. The cold has been pretty ravaging. Temperatures went from being in like the 50s and 60s to right down into like sub-freezing temperatures. And so that's been an adjustment for sure. And the house it's an old vacation cabin, so it's not really like designed to be warm. And despite our measures to resolve that, it's still cold. And so it's kind of it usually creeps up on us, but now it's like it's just accosting us. It's just wham, just hitting us right in the face. It's cold. So I sleep like a baby. The one upside is that
Yeah.
I don't wake up in the middle of the night anymore. I constantly wake up sweating hot in all seasons except for winter. So that's nice. I'll take that.
Yeah. No, it's so I have been very tardy with my firewood this year,
Mm-hmm.
but on the weekend I got the first fire going,
Nice.
and I just roasted the house.
Yeah.
I don't know what we were 25 degrees Celsius
Excuse me.
across the house,
Mhm.
and it's fantastic. But there's such a difference. That wood heat, it
Yeah.
just takes that little bit of dampness out of the air.
Mm-hmm.
That's how you get the chills, Before, like,
Right.
even with the furnace
Mhm.
going, it's always a little bit damp. But as soon as you
Right.
get that wood stove, it just dries it up. So, love it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice. I'm jealous. I wish I had a wood burning. Well, to be honest, I took the wood burning stove out of my house when I moved in because it took all this space. But you have a lot more space to work with in your place. So yeah, it was the Thanksgiving holiday. So we
Oh,
had
right.
for us it's actually a big deal. It seems like with the Canadians, kind of hit or miss. I don't know how big of a thing it is for you guys, but in the States, it's every bit as important as Christmas in
Yeah.
that the roads are closed, every store is completely shut down, and for the most part, like mom and pop shops are. And so I was racking my brain thinking about how little I got done this week, and I realized, well, yeah, I mean, the whole weekend was shot. Running around to families' houses and eating cake, and I mean, the suffering was real. So it was, but it was good. I mean, yeah, I enjoyed visiting with my parents and my in-laws and my wife's sisters, and my I guess I enjoyed seeing my sister too. But it was good. No, it was fun. Cake and pies and turkey and all that. And I ate the same meal probably 7 times or 8 times this week, and I happen to love it. So I'm very happy, very content with the turkey, mashed potatoes, stuffing, gravy, cranberry sauce combination. And so,
You know what I
yeah.
just realized?
Mm-mm.
I just realized how dumb I am
Mm.
because I had in my head to do a pilgrim couple
Mm.
along with the vegetables or whatever. We talked about a horn of plenty at one time,
Yeah.
the squash and the pumpkins,
Uh-huh.
and I stopped carving them because we had our Thanksgiving.
Uh,
I never even thought that only 8% of my viewers are Canadian.
right. Yeah.
I could have done it.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about it.
Yeah. That's funny.
That's crazy.
That is funny.
So
Yeah.
anyway, I interrupted you. But...
Very good. So, yeah, that's too good. Yeah, well, it's tough to keep track of all the holidays that are going on, and I have to qualify myself now on YouTube when I greet people. It's like, where am I in relationship to Canada holiday wise? I don't know. I don't know. But so it was definitely a slower week, but it was kind of nice. I feel the downside is that when I come back into the shop, it takes a solid day and a half to adjust and get back into the rhythm and feel like I'm
sure.
making all the right moves and getting back into it. But so I started off by the holiday season by sharpening the tools. Went through a lot of the tools in the back there and just polished the tar out of them and got them into a good spot because I had been putting that off for a long time. So that's a good feeling. And I did a lot of finishing up of like old things that I'd showed you last week and other carvings that I'd started and hadn't finished. I tend to work on carvings to like the 90% point and then set them aside, and then I'll pick them up in a day or two before I'm supposed to, and then button them up. And that's what I did this past week, getting ready for the original carving release on the website. And so what that means though is it's funny. It's like everything compresses, right? I've got these carvings, a bunch of them 90% done, and all this stuff has to be done before the release, right? You've got to clear coat the carvings. You've got to make the shorts because most of the videos that I'm making are produced right at the end of the carving, right? Just to kind of encapsulate the final touches. And so there's that, and then the finishing and the photography of the carvings, the posting of the carvings, the packaging of the carvings, and all that happens within the week. So it feels like all this stuff that isn't, other than the finishing of the carvings, it's not that much carving. So
the sale is coming this Friday or
yeah,
next Friday.
This
Friday,
yep.
December 1st.
December 1st. Yep.
Okay.
So that'll be good, and so just getting ready for that and the Black Friday stuff for us. You guys have the Black Friday?
Listen, I was going to mention that. That's the only carryover from the Americans that we've made this opportunity to have Black Friday sales.
Yeah,
which is ridiculous.
Right. That is weird. It's weird that you just got the worst part of the holiday.
Well, that's just
no turkey, no mashed potatoes.
That's just commercialism, right?
Email spam.
Any chance to
not even the good spam
sell something? Eh?
Yeah, they couldn't. Yeah, it's a bummer.
But oh well.
but it worked out for me. I put out, as the obligatory sales that, since I've got an online website, online school, I've had to oblige and put some. It's actually fun to do that. So I put out a bunch of ads or a couple of emails,
Mm.
basically giving people discounts on the school and stuff. So, and then I extended it. Basically, it became Cyber Monday week. So I'm just leaving those discounts up this week. So I probably will just leave it up until Friday, but it's like a, this 30% discount on the online school. And then I did that for Cyber Monday as well as Black Friday. And yeah, but so really that took up some time. I mean, that took like probably 2 or 3 hours responding to all the emails and the inquiries and making the ads myself and then posting them and emailing and posting on Instagram and Facebook and whatever. So YouTube and whatever it is. And so, yeah, I mean, a lot of things less than carving, but I did want to update you on this bust. So remember I had this big cedar bust to do last week?
Yeah. That's right.
So I had started it, and I managed to use a carving from Abby and I. My buddy Abby and I have been carving for a long time together, and I had this bust from our projects, and I was recycling it and turning it into this neat sculpture. And the lady and the husband, Kurt and I shouldn't say their names, but Kurt and June are their first names. Are going to come over to the house to check on the piece yet today. And I got a call yesterday from June saying that they won't be here today because Kurt died. And so, I said, I'm so sorry. I mean, I talked to her for a while about it. He was playing squash with his buddies, and he was just having fun hitting the ball. I guess that's what squash is, right? Kind of like tennis. I don't know, but
I think it's against the wall, is it?
that's what I thought. Yeah.
Or is that handball?
I don't know.
Anyway,
I gotta look this up. Actually, I've got to solve this. What is squash?
I think it's against the wall. I think one has a racket and the other is a hand.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. Yep. Yep. So he's playing squash. He's having a great time. Nothing, out of the ordinary. And his friends go to leave, and they notice that he hasn't left the building yet. And so one of them goes back in there to check on him, and he is sitting down with his eyes closed, not breathing. And they think he had some sort of a massive heart attack or something. But that was weird to me to be, about to meet with this guy, conversing with him back and forth the prior week, and getting, figuring out all what needs to happen and getting his opinion on things and sending drawings back and forth, and then he's gone.
Wow.
And reminds you how temporary life is and how we have to appreciate what we have and who we have in our lives. It definitely made me appreciate my wife more, and just shared with her a little bit about, I didn't get to know him very well, but my brief interactions with him were such that I could see that he really cared for her. Every time he would ask me about the carving, he would say, but let me see what June thinks. So I don't want to miss it, miss it from her, on her perspective. Well, honey, what do you think about that? And then she would say, well, I actually like it this way better. And he would say, okay, well then we can do that. I told her it was very obvious that Kurt was a wise man, and she laughed about that, and we talked for a while, and I just felt terrible for her. So I offered her deposit back, of course, and she said, no, Kurt wanted this as much as I did, and he would want me to finish this. So we're definitely going to keep going.
Oh, you're going to keep going.
So
yeah, that's good.
So, but it was just a weird spot to be in for her, I imagine. I can't, calling this guy who she had commissioned to make this thing. And so, but that's where that sits. And I did get some work on it done to it this past week, just getting the shape and the design. It's sitting over here. I mean, I probably could turn the laptop real quick, but not a lot of the face done, just mostly getting the shoulders and the kind of apron of his shirt and the bust kind of set in.
Oh, wow. I thought it was a half face for some reason.
Yeah, it's a life-size bust.
Yeah.
So fully in the
Wow.
round. So it's pretty heavy, but it's cedar, so luckily it's not too bad. But yeah, I need to make sure and get it sealed or something because it's already starting to show some light cracking on the top. But yeah, that's it. I mean, I could go on, but for the
You got
most part, that's what I've been up to.
You got the deer all done?
Oh, the deer. Actually, yeah, I worked on that today. I didn't touch it over the holiday, of course, but I got a chance to go in there today and play with it. And it was fun because I brought it in from outside and I was able to take a look at it in the shop.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm getting happy with it. It's getting to a good place. So, and it's probably 20 or so % larger than life size, but and so it probably weighs 175 pounds, 150 pounds. I mean, it takes every bit of me to move that thing onto the post and screw it to the thing with my dad's help, and so. But yeah, that's it's got to get glued up to this back, and the back will be carved, and once that's done, he'll be ready for antlers. So, again, I've been working on other things. The holidays have slowed that down, but I'm excited to. I mean, it feels substantial for sure to move this thing around. It's unlike anything I've done. It's cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Enjoying it.
That's a good challenge for you, anyway.
Yeah, it is.
Or it would be for me.
Yeah, it is.
Actually, I wouldn't even do it. Too much of a challenge.
Nah, you could do it. You could definitely do it. But you mentioned showing carvings that I've been doing. I'll let you go first because I've been talking a bunch, and then we'll go back and forth, and we can do a little show and tell.
Well, I forget where we left off, but I believe I was putting up the Sleeping Santa moon video.
Yeah.
Last time we talked.
Yep.
So since then, I did. Remember, I talked about that carving probably a month ago that I was so happy with that I just did by myself, just to take a little break. Right?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I just did that on my own like a month ago.
Oh, okay.
And then I had it in my head I would do that for a video at some point. So the some point was now. So I did a bunch more.
Oh, I just saw this.
That's the one I did in the video. But.
Okay. What's the one in your hand, in your palm right now? Like, I like that one the best.
Yeah, me too. He is my favorite too.
He's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
So I made a video for that. I went out there. And then, of course, as we do, immediately following the release of your videos, like, now what?
Right?
Now what?
Right.
So I was looking around for some ideas, and I had this idea a long time ago.
Yeah.
I bought this at a antique sale somewhere, right? And I was looking at it, and I said, I wonder if I can do that in a 1x1. So this was my first experiment.
Oh, nice. The paint turned out great.
Doing him like that.
Because I've seen, for the folks watching at home, I've seen this carving in previous talks, but I hadn't seen it painted.
Right. Well,
the carving looks great too.
So now we've kind of scaled it up a little bit.
Yeah, I like the size better, the bigger one.
Well, it's not really bigger; it's just a little
longer.
This is this is my new thing. Is I'm going to start adding bases.
Oh, the base is what makes it look longer.
Yep.
Huh.
And I'll tell you why. Because his feet are still big on this one.
Yeah.
But any smaller, he won't stand up. Right. So it's terrible. So I like the idea. I like the idea for most of my carvings, just to put a base on it. Gives you something you can sign your name on the back if you want. And it's just solid when you put them down. They'll stand up, and no worries. Because I'm constantly knocking things over here because they're just a little wobbly, right?
Right.
So, but anyway, hopefully I'll get that out by the weekend. Here's something, I don't know if you can tell or not. That strap supposedly is supposed to cover the mouth, right?
Yeah.
According to this one.
Okay.
But on these last two, I started making just a little cut at that. So it's subtle,
Yeah,
Just a little cut there, just to give a little bit of a grin to make it
the mouth.
add a, it just gives a little element of silliness.
I like it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that.
So that was fun.
I like that.
But otherwise, yeah. Then I immediately went and got sick,
Yeah.
and it's very hard to focus and concentrate on little carvings
Right.
late at night with a headache and congested head. But anyway,
Yeah.
whatever. And yeah, you FaceTimed me today talking about tonight, and I was up on a ladder, Christmas decorations
Oh,
at the church. Oh, I am such a Grinch. I
right.
am the biggest Grinch ever. But I don't like it. The best part is carving Santa faces. You know,
Yeah,
so
right.
much hubbubaloo. But all that aside, I got the present of a lifetime this week. I want to show that. Where is he? Do you remember we were talking about Gene Messer and Gene Messer carvings? And I said I would love to have a Gene Messer carving, but
Oh,
I never want to ask. You know what? You just don't want to ask. It just feels
right.
well. You did, right?
No,
No.
no. I just said one day I'd love to have a Gene Messer carving on his comments. You know,
Oh yeah.
not
Nice.
fully,
Nice.
not expecting him to send me one, but yeah.
Well, is it Ronnie? Wait a sec. Yeah, Ronnie sent me a little gift package, which included one of his carvings. Nice little Christmas carving with the little
Cute.
pin on the back.
The pin.
I like the pin. I should be wearing it.
You should, like a lapel mic. I like that. Oh, don't stab yourself.
But lo and behold, he sent me an original
So good.
Gene Messer.
Yeah. So good.
I'm so happy. But along with that, which I love Gene and his carvings, but something that's almost equally as exciting
Yeah.
is he gave me a little Jack Price carving,
So cool.
which I never thought in my entire life I would ever even see one,
Right.
let alone have one, and I could not be happier. So these are my carving heroes,
Right.
Gene and Jack.
Wow.
So I feel like I could become a collector. If anybody has these little Jack Price carvings,
He won't take them from the artist, but he'll take them from the guy who bought them.
no, I'll pay for them. These are fantastic.
He has standards, guys.
I will happily buy your Jack Price car. They're so how tiny they are.
Yeah.
These are
Those are cute.
so cute.
So cute. I love
Anyway,
Jack Price's delicate little details. You know, it's just so
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, but big thanks to Ronnie. That was amazing. I can't believe it.
So cool.
So cool.
Yeah, I was shocked when I feel like I should pull out mine, but I was shocked when he actually sent them. I almost felt bad because I wasn't expecting it. But I was I'm glad that I commented that because you know, then I started going on different forums with jewelry and other things and saying, "Boy, I would sure love this diamond necklace for
There
my
you
wife." And yeah, it just didn't work. So people
Didn't work.
They don't care. They don't care. People
Well,
are ruthless.
I just know how it feels when strangers hit you up and say, "Hey, give me something."
Right.
You know, I get all the time.
Yeah,
like,
you do act that way. I'm always trying to get stuff from you. I've told you have how many Grunsford axes do you have?
Well, but I get guys like, "Oh, I see you have a lot of carving knives. I'd like to start carving. Can you send me one and some wood?" Come on.
You never send me any of your Swiss made tools, none of your Grunsfords, none of anything. You know, you won't send me your YouTube plaque, nothing.
You have your own.
Well, who says I don't want to?
Well,
And so you're just a stingy guy.
there you go. But anyway, that's my story on that. So I'm very, very excited about that.
That is cool. Very, very cool.
But he wrote a really nice note too, but I won't read it.
You don't. Yeah, skip the romance.
Yeah. You have been doing a Juniper Man on live streams this week too.
Oh yeah. I did that. I worked on a Juniper lady, and I also was working on this guy here. I have him over there, but because I don't want to reach, I'll just show you a picture. This guy.
Oh yeah.
And I've been working on a bunch of just buttoning up things. Can you see this guy back here?
I'll watch the video later to see it clearly, but yeah.
Well, I can pull him up without shooting the really weird, super thin. I'm really just taking it to the furthest extent I can. I mean, just as an example of how thin that is.
I feel like I would drop that and I'd bust his neck off immediately.
No, it's very likely. I mean, it has to be handled with care. It's not a sturdy carving. But yeah, Juniper lady's back here. I can almost reach her. Oh, let's see. There she is. Yeah. Yep. So worked on that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Flowers.
So never, ever, ever have I carved juniper.
Yeah. It's super fun.
How would you relate it to, or what would you relate it to?
It kind of reminds me of white cedar, but just harder.
It's hard.
Like it's a lot like white cedar, but more. It has that brittle quality that white cedar has, but it's got some more resistance to it. I mean, you have to use. I mean, at least I like using a mallet. I think it's worthwhile to mallet that sucker because it's just a lot of work to remove the bulk material with pushing that chisel.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I have to do with those cedar rails. I have to get a mallet.
Yep.
And not film it.
Right. Yeah. Oh, it took me how long are those live streams? It probably took me 3-4 hours to make that thing. So, yeah, it was no joke. Just because of the, mallet work slows you down a lot, but it was fun. I enjoyed it, and but yeah, I wouldn't recommend folks. I said it 1,000 times in the live stream. I would recommend folks use a Dremel or a power tool outside, good dust collection, in decent weather. It's just not. It's not the best hand carving wood. I mean, specifically that piece was pretty hard, harder than some that I've done. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Call this the coughing podcast.
Right. The coughing and carving podcast, right?
That's a good thing about having the mic. I can mute it.
Yeah. Yeah, so and then again I have a bunch of things up there piled up that I think I showed some of them, right? I showed the owl, the barn owl, and different things like that. But yeah, they're hiding up there. There's a little green man up there, and you'll see them on the website. But
cool.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like you're quite a bit done.
Well, not terrible, but I've got to make a slingshot. Oh, I hope I can't say anything more because I don't want to ruin a surprise. I don't think the person who it's for never in a million years would watch this, but just in case, I'm scared.
There you go. Well, we have John Robertson to thank for buying us coffees this week.
Woo! Yamas! Cheers.
Thanks, John.
That's awesome.
But yeah, you want to move into the mailbag?
Yeah. Mailbag.
Snotty nose. Mailbag.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, Lori is asking, hey, Doug and Alec, you occasionally mention carving greenwood. Do you handle the finishing of a greenwood carving in the same way you finish carving in dry wood?
How do you answer that? Oh, is he dying? Doug has left the building. Yeah, this is a good question. And I'm not fully sure of how to answer that because I haven't personally done anything all that different. I mean, I think sealing a carving when it's green, it's just you. For me, is you expedite that process to prevent cracking. So if it is green, you're carving it. You want to get the clear coat on it as soon as possible. That will ensure that it will slow down or reduce the possibility of any cracking. So, yeah, to me, I don't really think of, especially if it's a water-based finish, it's not changing so much other than it's going to slow the drying process down a little bit. But
Okay, well, I don't have a good answer because I'm experimenting, and here's my experiment: was that Green Man. This wood was super green, so I actually went ahead and painted it just to see if it made any difference.
mm-hmm.
But so normally,
Yeah.
I normally wait for it to dry. So like for Santa here, all I did was I put linseed oil on it, not to seal it, but to slow the drying down.
Right.
Right? Because
Yep.
when you have exposed wood, it dries so much faster. So I put oil on it just to slow down the drying process, and hopefully it won't crack. So anyway, but yeah, the painting. I mean, I don't see anything. Seems to work just fine.
Right.
No ill effects.
Yeah.
So yeah,
There you go.
there you go. Derek gives us. We talked last week about making wax canvas, which he calls tin cloth.
Mm-hmm.
Make the old cowboy coat. So he has a little recipe here. That,
Oh, cool.
So we talked about. I wasn't sure. I forgot about the turpentine, but he's got a little pine tar too. So that's a different recipe. But
Mm-hmm.
Peter wants to know for his strop. There is amount of stropping wax. Do you ever clean or flatten out your strops?
How do you answer that?
I have never ever cleaned my strops. On my power strop, I may have done a scraping if I felt it's too getting lumpy or bumpy.
Mm-hmm.
But my actual hand strops, I've never touched. In fact, Dave Stetson showed on the International Association of Woodcarvers a couple weeks ago. He showed his old strop that he's been using for like 20 years, and rarely cleans it. So I don't think it's necessary unless it's lumpy and bumpy.
Right. Yeah, I'll go with that. I don't use a lot of. Yeah, I mean, well, I don't. I just don't. I don't do it either. Yeah.
And then Peter also has another one here showing his new hoodie. I wish I.
Coffee and Carving Show hoodie.
No, it's the Whittle Things hoodie.
No, I'm just being facetious. I know.
I know you are.
We got to get you to make some merch for the Coffee and Carving Show. Oh, speaking of which, the mugs. If anyone wants a mug, I don't have an example here, but they're tree mugs. You can see them in some of the previous episodes, but they're beautiful, beautiful mugs, and those are going to be available. It does not to any profit of Doug and I. It just goes to my mom, but she makes them by hand, and I think they're 35 bones, and then shipping. So, yeah, those will be. You can. I'll put my mom's email below, so you can email her if you want one. I won't be
Okay, perfect.
dealing with that, but yeah.
All right, and then Matt lastly asks, if we would do a video on how you hang up your carvings, like what Alec makes. So we kind of discussed this a little bit. How do you hang your carvings on the wall? And I just showed. Let's just shoot out with the number 11.
Yep.
But what you had said with the bark, because you can even see here on the wood, you can see how it tears a little bit. So you had mentioned even putting super glue on the edge to harden it up.
Yep.
But if I was doing something really important, no, I think I'd chisel in a metal strap.
You could do that.
And then just give it something solid to hang on to. But I think when I talked about before, you don't want a picture frame type thing. You don't want to hang your carving off the wall, you want it tight to the wall, right?
Mm-hmm.
So at least these kind of carvings. So,
Sure. Yeah. I mean, relatively tight. It doesn't have to be gapless, but yeah, you don't want it to be
not
completely hanging weirdly.
with a picture wire. Yeah, you don't want that.
Yeah.
Maybe you do, but I don't. But there you go.
Yeah, handled that for me. Thank you. Is that it?
Oh, Ozzy has a question. I'm trying to understand it. I think I understand it. I'm carving a long-haired Dachshund for my daughter.
Yeah.
I'm at the point where the hair meshes from the head ear area to the body. How do you guys mesh the area where it looks natural and not a distinct line from area to area?
Oh yeah. Yeah. So where the ear ends, she wants to end it, but she doesn't want it to blend in with the rest of the body. Yeah. Is that right? Am I understanding that correctly?
I'm at the point where the hair meshes from the head ear area to the body.
Oh, I see. Okay. I see. Just the head, not the ear.
Yeah,
right.
I would just continue on with the hair. I don't know.
Right.
I don't. It's not like they have a head of hair and then a body hair. It's all the same hair.
Maybe they're thinking about like a dog costume. Is it a person in a dog costume with like the removable head?
Oh, I didn't even read it. I'm carving a long-haired Dachshund for my daughter. Does that mean they have more hair?
Oh, maybe so. Maybe it has. Well, I'm sorry that we're not more versed in dog species and the hair grooming and the layering of hair. I think it's more specific. Really, this is points to the importance of having good reference photos. If you have really great reference photos, you'll start to understand in 3 dimensions when you get a front, a side profile, 3/4 view of the animal that you're carving. You'll understand how that transition looks. If it's jagged, is it straight? Is it textured? What does it look like? And so looking at pictures, but better yet, taking the pictures that you want to take of the actual dog is going to make a huge difference in your carving. So yeah, if you can get your hands on that dog and then get the lighting right so that you can see the shadows that the groups of hair cast. So get yourself a good light, even your phone light. If you can shine it in such a way you can see the shadows, that will teach you a lot more than either of us can about how to achieve the transition.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, with fur, you want to start with, you don't start with V-tools right away. It's the biggest mistake people make. You start with shape first, and you achieve shape using veiners, gouges, nines. You can use other gouges as well.
Yeah, and so on that point, I showed briefly in the Santa Moon video how a lot of character carvers, myself included, 90% of the time we draw a line, and we have a cut line. And I showed one of the moons where I just put a little gouge, just a smooth transition to hair instead of having a line.
Right.
You know what I mean? So if it's between two things, you should never have an edge. It's just hair just starts on your head, right?
Right. Well, unless you've got a bit of hair meeting the face, right?
In that sense, it was only this little side hair here, so it was just a smooth. But anyway,
yeah. So, yeah, I know what you're saying. Also, my hair is insane right now. Just looking at it, hat hair. But it's definitely. Look at those reference photos, pay attention to the shapes in there, and start out with your veiners, your 9s, your 10s, your 11s, and then if you want to go back in and punch in depth, wherever you see strong shadows, strong lines in the photos that you've taken of that dog, that's when you pull out the V-tool at the end and you highlight, or underscore those deep areas with the V-tool and catch those shapes. I don't think I have it on YouTube, but I look for shapes. There's a few different, I call it the Vice method. And there are various shapes that overlapping hairs make with one another. And for instance, there's a V pattern where one group of hair meets another group of hair and forms what looks like a V. right? And this means that there's overlapping. One's higher than the other and goes over the top the other, and in this sort of direction. So you're using your veiner to create that pattern, and then a V tool to separate those shapes out. There's the eye shapes, which is just a little opening. You might have just a little space between two groupings of hair, like so. That forms just kind of like almost a straight line. You've got the S shapes, which can be formed from curling hair or loosely wavy hair, and then the E shape, which is when you have a spiral. You might see some spirals, but mostly on really curly hair. You can see a few of them here where the hair curls in on itself and creates almost like an E shape or an O shape. So, noticing these shapes in the dog's hair is going to help you, noticing patterns, help you with carving it. So,
Now, one question I've been debating with myself the last few weeks, and it's very premature, but it's something that we can talk about for the next little bit, is going into the new year.
Yeah.
Do you have any resolutions?
I don't really do that.
Or any goals?
Oh, yeah, plenty of goals, but I have the same goals regardless of the day. So, if anything, what I'll probably do is I'll just do a recap of the past year and go through and the highlights and some of the things I'm glad that I did, and just let that inspire the new year and the new directions that I have. Yeah.
All right. Very good. Well, I just been thinking about that because, everybody that has ever watched the show knows that my brain is scattered, and I've been trying to wheel myself in and stick to one thing. And this week, talking about Gene Messer and Jack Price, and then I was thinking I've got Don Mertz and Tom Hines.
Yeah.
And looking at their stuff going, I'm not saying I'm going to, or that I even can, but I really need to really double down on the 1x1 series and take it as far as I can go with the one. That's
your
a dream goal. I'm sure I won't be able to fully follow it through, but I'm just scratching the surface, and I don't know if I can take the YouTube people with me, because from here you could do twice. Even this guy here, I could do twice as many details and put so much more effort into each little carving, and perhaps become known as the 1x1 guy.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, try to make an identity, because like I said, you see a Gene Messer, that's a Gene Messer.
Right.
Tom Hines, you see a little Jack Price. Oh, it's a Jack Price carving.
Sure.
And just being scattered all over. I got to try and get my brain straight. But anyway, I was just thinking about that. Thought I'd bring it up.
Yeah, that's good. I think people are afraid of getting pigeonholed, but
exactly.
The reality is that it's actually good. It's a good thing to be known for something, and as much as it hurts your ego to be associated with one thing or another, yes, you can shed that. That's the good news. But the even better news is that it's better to be known for something, as long as it's decent, than it is to not be thought of at all. So,
yep,
not a bad thing.
But I think if I stuck with the 1x1, now we talked, like, I really love carving this trembling aspen, the wood.
Yeah.
So that's always something I'm going to do on the side. But
right.
Yeah, just been thinking about that. That's all.
It's good. Yeah. I don't think too much about. Lately I've just been what I have been thinking about as far as carving goals has been letting myself have fun. Like, for so many years, I started carving, and within the first year of carving, I started selling my stuff. After a year of carving, I started selling it, and it happened because so many of my mom's family and so many of our friends wanted to buy them, and so it's been 17 years of 16 years of selling carvings, right, on and off. and it's been my main job. So lately, what I've just been looking forward to is making the things that I enjoy making, like
Hmm.
doing stuff that excites me. I have fun when I'm stretching things or I'm pushing myself into new territories, and I feel like I can respect the direction that I'm going into, and uh, yeah, it's just exploring new things, and it's a benefit I think to be exploratory in art and to try things that you haven't tried or felt comfortable in. Getting into the deep water, if you will,
Yeah.
the deep water of creativity, the stuff that you feel like, I don't know what I'm doing right now. I don't know. I don't feel like I've done this before. You're not going on impulse. You're not going on, the sort of just everyday humdrum. This is what I do. You're going on the excitement of the visceral excitement and joy that you get from trying something, sometimes failing, but then having an ever more exciting success as a result. And that's what I'm after. In the new year, 2024. Wow, that came fast.
Sure did.
So, holy smokes. Wow. So yeah, that's that.
All right. You wanna
Media.
these intros? You got a break?
Media.
That's a lot just to say media. Eh?
That's horrible. Media.
What you been watching, reading, looking at, listening to?
Well, I have been reading this book. I don't know if I mentioned it last week, but it's called The Traveler's Gift. So
You
far,
did.
so good. I'm not much further along into it, but I'm almost done. I'm most of the way done with it. So it's a good book. I recommend it. And other than that, minimal media. I've been really into Devin. I've been listening to Devin Larrett arm wrestle. Not listening, watching him arm wrestle.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
it's a beast, eh?
I've just been sucking that in all the time. Being that he's back at it, I mean, he's super strong, and it's really fun to see him compete.
He did
So
he actually did a boxing match
yeah,
this year or
with the
last year.
mountain, right? Remember that?
Was it? Well, I think he had a real actual. Was it with the
Yeah,
mountain? The
I
real.
think so. I think
Huh.
so.
Anyway, yeah, he's great. What have I been up to? Well, laying around. Really, just more research than watching. I shouldn't say that because I watch so many videos.
Yeah.
But I think I talked to you before about I have this option on a hay wagon,
Mm-hmm.
the old big 4-tire hay wagon.
Hmm.
Now, the property that I have, the bush, I'm not allowed to build a structure because it's environmentally protected, and on top of it all, it could flood. So
The whole property.
it has for sure, yeah.
Okay.
But when I say flood, it's only a little just water
True.
across.
Right. Right. I can see that.
Regardless, this hay wagon has been filling my thoughts, and so I've been researching the gypsy caravans
Mm.
and the shepherd's hut, kind of the same idea,
Right.
on a hay wagon.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been looking at. I've watched so many videos on those tiny house caravans and stuff. But
Mm.
anyway, the whole point being, that'd be cool to have a little carving caravan in the bush that I could just go and hang out and carve and whittle and camp.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'm
That
really
would
liking
be.
the idea. I
That'd
like
be
the idea.
really, really cool. Yeah.
So I'm not saying I am or I'm not, but it's an exciting thought for sure.
No kidding.
So,
That would look neat too, wouldn't it?
well, you know what else? On top of it all, I just always wanted a reason to own a cubic mini stove
Oh,
in something,
yeah. I
and
know what you mean.
that would definitely have to have one.
Right.
The little mini wood stove. I have to have something that I can put that in.
Yep.
So anyway,
Yep.
but that's about it. I think
How does your basement stay warm if you, speaking of furnaces and heating, if your fireplace is upstairs?
it's half the temperature.
It's colder down there.
Oh yeah, for
Okay.
sure.
Okay.
But before it gets too cold, I may turn the furnace fan only on and just cycle the air,
Okay.
so I don't let it get freezing or nothing.
Right. Okay.
I like it a little bit cooler.
Me too.
So
Yeah. Yeah, it's 55 in here. So.
yep. So it's cool in the winter and it's cool in the summer. It's a perfect
nice.
mix.
Yeah.
It's nice. So all right. Well, thanks everybody. Sorry for the sicknesses once again.
Take your vitamins.
See you later, guys.